Once upon a time, in a small town in the outskirts of Amsterdam, there lived a young boy named Richard. He was just 6 years old when his world turned upside down. One stormy night, his parents left without a word, leaving Richard alone and bewildered in their empty home. With no one to care for him, Richard struggled to survive. He scavenged for food, slept in abandoned buildings, and learned to fend for himself in a harsh world. As the years passed, the loneliness and desperation gnawed at his young soul, pushing him towards the shadows of society. By the time Richard turned 12, he had become a skilled petty thief, stealing to feed himself and finding solace in the company of other abandoned children like him. They formed a makeshift family, bound together by their shared struggles and the harsh reality of life on the streets. But as Richard grew older, the allure of easy money and power drew him deeper into the criminal underworld. He became entangled in illegal activities, from petty theft to drug trafficking, each step leading him further away from the innocent boy he once was. At 27, Richard's luck ran out. He was caught in a police raid, surrounded by evidence of his crimes. The judge's gavel fell with a heavy thud, sentencing him to 30 years behind bars. As the prison doors closed behind him, Richard faced the harsh reality of his choices, regret weighing heavily on his shoulders. 7 long years passed within the confines of the prison walls. Richard's youth faded, replaced by hardened resolve and bitter acceptance of his fate. But fate had a surprise in store for him. One day, a letter arrived, bearing news of a pardon. Richard couldn't believe it at first, thinking it was a cruel joke. Yet as the gates swung open and freedom beckoned, he stepped into a world he had almost forgotten existed. Amidst the chaos of his newfound freedom, Richard's parents appeared, their faces lined with years of guilt and regret. They begged for forgiveness, tears streaming down their cheeks as they pleaded for a chance to make amends. Richard stood before them, a mix of anger and longing swirling within him. He had spent years dreaming of this moment, imagining what he would say and do if they ever returned. Now faced with reality, he found his heart torn between bitterness and a faint glimmer of hope. Richard's parents begged him to return home with them and promised heaven and earth to make it up to him for all they did in the past. If you were Richard, what will you do? Will you go with them or walk out on them? Put yourself in Richard's shoe. We would love to hear your reaction. Thank you.